I really need to find some parts that I can't get. It's a 1967 something. I could go in the TARDIS. What am I thinking? I can go back in time and I just need to go back in time. In the TARDIS. Duh. Yeah, here we go. Hey, Amy. Not today, doctor. Not today. I'm the doctor. I'm flying this machine today. All right. Remember, turn this one on. This here. That switch. Too much. Something's going on. Oh no. Well, I better fix that right away. Well, doctor, you're right. It ain't gonna work. Why? That ain't gonna work. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, this is part two of the cl90. Well, got the kit, got the top end kit, so we're ready to maybe put this thing back together. Hopefully it's gonna run. I don't know internally what's all wrong with it, being that water was in there, but I let it drain because I was gone all weekend. I went to that Dayton Ham Fest, which rained like crazy, and then it got sunny, and then it got really hot. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sure you guys don't care about that. Oh yeah, I got Terrell working there in the background. Yeah, I was watching one of his videos here earlier, and I was just playing. So let's see what we got here. Hopefully this is the right kit. I didn't even open it up yet. I ordered two just to have an extra set here on hand. Just to, in case I do another one, which I probably will be, because I do have some more 90s that I do got to get running. Not as bad as this one. Maybe not as old either. No, do not fold. And look, it's half full. Look, it was half folded anyway. Hey, it's the mail system. What happens? Now, because I got to sharpen my knife too. This is pretty dull. Pretty dull, they say. Okay. You never know what could be hidden in there. It could be a love note. No. All right. There it is, guys. The last video I put the description where someone asked me, hey, where'd you order that gasket kit? So I just told them, and I said, I gave them the link, and then I put the link in the description for if you need to order one of these. Now, this is just for the top end. Gives you the gasket here, excuse me. Have myself a Pepsi today. And comes with gasket there, the head gasket. I can't talk today. You know, today is Sunday. And it comes with all the gaskets for the whole 9 yards. All right, so I guess the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this piston off. And let's put the 110cc piston on there. All right, the first thing I want to do, guys, is I'm going to get this little ring off here. I'm going to take this off right here. So, luckily that little ring right here is in that spot. Normally you would have to turn it to get it there. I'm just going to go ahead and watch your eyes too, because sometimes that'll fling out of there and hit right in the eyeball. And it hurts. Trust me, I did it. Then, I'll just go to the other side. Push it out. There we go. How's the inside of that thing look? Don't look bad. It's just dirty. It's still nice and smooth. Should be good. But I think I'm going to put a little oil on that before I put the new one on. Now remember, guys, when you do put this new piston on, remember where it says in, right here? That's your top. Smaller one's your bottom. Exhaust, intake. And that goes to your top. So, let me get a little bit of oil. A little bit of lubricant to put on there. So, I probably do. Make sure there's no dust. Do a little bit of... Whoopsie. Oh, getting oil on my camera. Well, the camera stand anyway. Yeah, she needs a bath anyways, right? This thing's a little... All right. That should be good. You know, see, it took the ring out of that side, so it's going to go this way. I'm going to use the one that came out of the piston I just took out because it is broken in with that. Well, that ain't going to work. Ah! I just got to find where I put the other one. Well, okay, guys. Well, come across my problem. So, one, for this piston, the shaft is a little bit bigger. For this, it won't fit. So there's my answer. That 110cc is not going to fit that crank. Different size crank. See if I put this one in, the original where it fits perfect. So, well, there goes my answer. So much for that. But I still have the gasket kit for the 90. So, it looks like I'm going to have to clean up this, where is it? There it is. Let's clean this up. The Honda 90 piston. And get this one going. So much for that idea, right? Hey, you don't know until you try. And I didn't even look it up. I just wanted to do it for the fun of it. Do it on my own. And now I know. Now you guys too. All right. Let me get this done and I'll get this cleaned up and we will be back. Camera girl's helping me. Yeah. Go, camera girl. Anyway, guys. All right. So, bad news. That 110cc piston, you know, obviously is not going to work. But things happen that I like. That I found out, I said, okay, and that 90cc piston, well, I tried cleaning that up, guys, and yeah, it's pretty stuck. That'll take a lot of work. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go out to my shed, pull another engine, just pull another jug and everything off, right? Okay. So this is what I found. All right, so this is another, I've already tore this apart. It's a ATC 90 engine, you know. So what I did Of course, I took everything off, and I noticed something different. So, all right. So, guys, that's the 90 piston. Okay? Well, here's the jug I just took off that Honda ATC 90 engine. Okay? All right. Well, here's the 110cc that was not going to work with this engine. Okay? Look at that. I'm thinking to myself, holy buckets, what do I got here? So when I took that out, this is the piston that was in there. Look at that piston. Get a close up of that, camera girl. And I marked it. I think it's this. Well, I marked it thinking it was a 125, but I think it's a 150cc. It says Honda, but it fits, and also that pin fits with the crank. So I'm thinking someone bored this out and made this a 150cc. That's one bucket of a piston. I just found my cool kit that's even bigger than a 110. All right, guys. Now we're going to start putting this together with this bigger cylinder that I found. I'm sure you can probably find these kits online with these new ones. I haven't looked. I was just trying to find something what I got on my junk pile. So let's do that. Let's do this 150cc. I guess I should find my veneer somewhere and mic it and find out what size it is, because it doesn't say, all it says is Honda on it, and that's it. No other markings. But looking at that piston, it's got to be 150cc. Oh, and I got to find, I know I got a brand new carburetor for this somewhere too, NOS carburetor, because this one's pretty nasty inside. All right, let's start getting this together. Well, guys, looking at this piston, okay, I wasn't sure which one of these is the top or the bottom. I guess I should have marked it when I took it off, but I didn't. But I'm assuming right here is for your spark plug. So that's going to go on the right-hand side. So that gap there is probably for your plug. So this is going to make this the top. Pretty sure. So, I can't believe I've actually I found this. This is pretty awesome. I guess I should bring that out a little bit. Probably be a wise idea. A little bit of finesse. There we go. All right. Now I gotta find the ring. The ring. Lord of the Rings. No. Ring for the Honda. All right, and there it goes. All right, now it's in there. Yeah, remember, stagger your rings as well. I'm going to do that now. So that one's going to go there. This second ring is going to go there. And that one can stay there. All right. Big piston. Now, let's put on the gaskets. Yeah, so this one here. This one here is your gasket for the jug. And that little hole, a tiny little hole, goes over on your right-hand side. That's your oil pump line. See if I do it without ripping the gasket, right? There we go. Don't forget too, you want to make sure you have your guide pins in there. Where your guide pins, what holds the cylinder. in a certain position. In fact, the top guide pin isn't on here. I think it's on the cylinder here. Yep, it sure is. So let me take it out of there. So I don't, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to take it out. I think it's integrated with this head jug. Yep, just going to leave it in there. All right. So I gave it a shot of paint real quick. Make it look kind of nice. We're going to get, oh, getting one. I'm going to put the timing chain seal on it. Now we'll put this gasket on. Get it into the slots. Well, camera girl's gonna ruin my filming now with the mowing. So it looks like I'm gonna need to stop after I do this here, so you guys can hear me without hearing that mower going. So let's get this top jug on and we'll let her mow. You want to make sure you get these rings on without breaking. Oof, I didn't want to do that. Be very careful when putting these on, since this is a board piston and stuff. This one might be a little more difficult. It's a thinner wall. Oh, just came out. All right, well, I'm going to get that slid on. I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to, the camera's in my way. I want to be very careful with these. I don't want to break them because I had no idea where I'm going to find another set if I do break it. So let's do that. All right, now that I got that on, I was able to get it on carefully without the camera being in my way. So now let's get this guide on next. I'll find the pin that goes in there. Get this guide in. There we go. I'm going to show you two guys where you want to be. Right now it's on top dead center. Well, I guess I'm going to have to move my camera again. All right, so what you're going to want to do is on that mark right there, you want to be sure you're on the T mark. That's your T mark. Top dead center. Now, I'm going to put this gear on. This looks pretty good. Now in here, you have your round mark, round circle. See that? Right there. Right by the screw hole. That points directly toward the front. So just giving yourself a rough idea so you don't have to mess with it when you're putting all this together. Now let's see, one more. Right there. That should be, it should look about like that, where it's like that type of line. All right. Get your new gasket. That's dirty. Put it on. Not backwards, like I was trying to do. Then we have a new head gasket. Hopefully this one's going to work, because this is a actually I should probably put this in the head. Yep, okay, we'll do that. We'll put that in there. Okay, we're going to do that. So I do believe that little square cutout would be your top. because you got a cutout here, a cutout here, and a cutout here. No cutout down here, but it seems to line up pretty good at this point right here. All right. Being that little cutout is your top. Also, I'm going to want to replace this little seal here, which comes in a kit. I might also do that. And I believe that goes on like this. I guess I should put that in first. Kind of hard to see. Come on, baby. There we go. Put that on. Okay. Now I think we're ready to put the head on. We got the gasket, we got this and gasket on there. All right. Let's put the head on. Oh dear. Maybe I'm going to have to use a little bit of grease to keep this thing from falling off. I want to bend it. See if I can use two hands here. Probably a little bit of grease would probably work out great, really, to kind of hold that in spot. I'm going to put my screwdriver in there. Hold it in place for a minute. Just drop back down in there. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute while the lawnmower goes on by. So I went a little, cleaned it up. Now, if you guys notice that this side's higher than these holes, this is going to be your right side. So, and it's a little more curved down here. Just makes it easier when you go to put it back on for you guys. Do that. Don't forget your washers. Definitely don't want to forget these. Oh yeah, I did put the gasket on while we were waiting for the lawnmower to go by. For camera girl to drive home by. All right, and I do believe the cap goes on this end. And the regular nuts go on either side. Now, you know what, guys? I'm going to have to look up the torque specs on this because I've never really torqued these, but I want to make sure you guys know the torque. Me, I just torque them down by hand, you know, by X pattern. But I'm going to give you the torque so you guys can do it the right way or do however you want to do it. Me, I just do it by feel, ratchet feel. So let me go look up them specs. Okay, guys, to help you out, here in the book, it shows you doing a cross pattern when you're tightening them up. Cross pattern. Okay, and then installing, it says here, using the cross pattern, figure 44, tighten the nuts to 20 to 25 nm, 14 to 18 foot-pounds is what it is. Tighten these up. Cross pattern, 14 to 18 foot-pounds. And that's your foot-pounds for this. All right, so I got my torque wrench set for 15. So I'm checking them out. Got them all snug, but I want to make sure they're all right at 14. There we go. That's at 15. My gigantic torque wrench. I use this on the Tahoe when I was doing the heads. It tells you to stop right there. Red light means stop. Here we go. All right, going across pattern here. There we go. I'll double check them real quick, but now they're torqued. Now, let's get this cam in. Sure, she's gonna go in all right. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna wash this off. Give it a clean to make sure there's no dirt and grime. All right, even though I cleaned it, I'm gonna put a fresh oil on it so it's not totally dry going in. These are always fun. I do believe that way is the way it goes in with a little hole here. That's actually for the, just like that. And that little hole is the pinhole for this. So I forgot, when you take it out, make sure you don't lose that pin, guys, because I did. I'm not gonna have to look for that tiny pin. Yep, there's a little pin that goes in there. Let me see, where's that other cam? I'll show you. I mean, if anything, I can use this one, but let me zoom in. That pin will fall right out, so be careful. It does come right out of there. I'll show you. See if this one comes right out. Yep, see? And it's tiny. So, yep. All right. Let's get these bolts in. Fasteners. I guess I should use the proper term, right? Fasteners. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see if this thing runs now. Especially with this ginormous cam or piston in there. Cam. We'll make it a hyper cam. We'll make it really, really hyper. Okay. So. There we go. That's my torque. I think the torque I looked up was the same. Maybe about 10 foot-pounds. I think it was between 8 and 9. All right. Now I'm going to find that pin. I don't know. I might just use this one here. But I'm going to do it so I don't drop it inside the motor. I'm going to turn this upward. Just like that. That's all I need is to drop this in the motor. It probably ain't going to hurt nothing, but there we go. Now, I'm going to put the back plate on. I probably should put this on last, because the back plate, you might have a chance of ripping the seal. The seal that's right here. This seal looks pretty garbaged up. Look at that. This is pretty garbaged up. That's because they lost this in here. Yeah, let's use a different one. I got brand new gaskets, so. Well, that one's pretty bad. They put a seal in there for this? Nope. Yeah, that seal. That's ripped. And we got one more to shoot for here. Yeah, I got this one all cleaned up. This one looks pretty good. So I got the new gasket. Here it is. And this will go this way. I see I'm ruining that seal there. We don't want that. There we go. Now it's going on nicely. Even up the hose. Get those right. So I'm going to probably want to use one of these. Properly line it up. Go ahead and put this in. Right about there. So a tiny little pin I put back in. Oh, and I did forget to mention, guys. Remember how at the other video this came off? I figured out there's a mark on top right here. Let me zoom in. But see that mark on top? That's your highest point of the lobes. That's going to be pointing toward this, the little groove on the other side. So if you do accidentally get this off, just comes off, that it has to be pointed to the groove. Well, sort of, at least in that the desirable direction. So that way it's not in the opposite position, and then you're trying to figure out why isn't this thing running? Why doesn't it want to start? What's going on? So when I did put this one together, because I wasn't really sure if I put it in right, and it was right on where the cut is. So that's going to go back on. I think I'm going to have to clean this a little more because it's still not as loose as I like it to be. So last time I did that, I pulled it apart. So I'm going to put it in the mineral spirits and then I'll re-lube it. Well, guys, we're getting close. I got this on. She's looking pretty good. It's cleaned up. Now, I did lie about the points. I thought I had a new set up there, but all the ones I have are these. These are for a CB or cl90. They're brand new. I got a bunch of these upstairs. Hey, if you guys need a couple of these, I might sell a couple of these if you really need, if you have that bike. Just get a hold of me on Facebook. All right. We're just going to clean up these points. They're not too bad. At least they're moving. So I'm going to clean them up and then we'll get these back on. And we're getting pretty close, guys. We're going to actually see if this thing turns over. Now, guys, we're going to put these points on. I tell you what, if you listen closely, you'll hear the thunder. You know, a storm rolling in. Oh, yeah, I hear it. Wind's blowing pretty hard, too. Now, don't forget. Let's see if I can aim this up here. You have this round circle with the line. That goes up here. Somewhere up there. A round circle with the line. I think that's pretty scraped up right there, but that's where it's supposed to go. Anyhow, and this groove here goes right here. It's obvious, you can tell, because the rubber piece goes through here anyway. So you want to make sure that groove goes here and there. Then put your rubber piece in. I got these cleaned up and put a little dab of oil right here on that little sponge. That way it keeps it lubed for not wearing out. Add your screws in. Hold this plate back in there. So all these original fasteners are pretty bad. They're stripped out pretty good. That's that one. That's that one there. So, you know, I saved nuts and bolts off when I do TVs. They're metric. And I found these. These have the washer and a lock washer already on them. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace them with these. And my screwdriver is hitting the camera. Imagine that. I'm going to have to back up a little bit here, guys. There we go. All right. That way you can move this just a little bit. Get your little screwdriver here. Adjust it. That's the F mark. Remember, you got to go over here. Put the F mark on that line right there. Now, once you have that on the F mark, which sometimes can be a pain in the butt to stay there, You come back over here, and your mark's going to be here, lined up with that mark on your cover. Then you can set your points. And you can set those by loosening that screw and this screw here. So let me get my pointer out. So that screw and the screw under here loosens this screw. And you can set your points like right here to set them. They're already set on here, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it again. But unless you really need me to, and I will. All right, so those are set. That stuff's on. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mount the carburetor, guys. Let's going to put the carburetor on. Now that I got the carburetor on, all mounted, points, now we're going to go ahead and work on the wiring. Get that situated. Got the cover on this side. Yeah, I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. I guess I should have grabbed my fit-ups first. Okay. I bet Jerry's probably made a nice little home in here. You know, the battery's still in it. Look at that. But it chewed up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get some light in there, guys. All right. Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun. Look at that. Jerry's made a mess. Yeah. Oh boy. Yummy. Yeah, I really don't want to blow that out because you don't want to be breathing all that poison animal feces in. Oh man, they chewed right through that harness. Well, this whole harness, guys, it's going to have to come out. Whoo-wee. Voltage regulator. Those wires are sort of, yeah, those wires are still intact, believe it or not. And let's unplug this. Yeah, I think this wiring harness is shot. So, we'll unplug this voltage regulator. Power wire. Well, there's part of our wiring harness all chewed up right here. Everywhere I turn on this bike, there's a problem. Besides Jerry making his big old racket of a nest in there, what I had to do was I got a coil upstairs, a 6-volt coil, and I have to wire this in myself just to try it out because I'm going to have to drop the motor. The coil is under the motor here. The wiring is not found. I'm sure little Jerry used it for his nesting. It's all chewed off. So what I did is I used the existing switch wires, which are already chewed off. I made a wire going from the points, and I used part of the old wiring harness just to tether them together because I don't want to cut those wires in case I want to put the wiring harness in here. Going up to the coil, which is green is goes to the points. Red is your power, your 6-volt. Now remember, this is a 6-volt coil, 6-volt system. So what I did is I made my own battery, just a small, this is 2 lithium batteries, so they're 6-volt with a fuse. I made that so I can, just for testing, instead of using a wet battery. So I'm going to leave the old coil there for now because I'm going to have to do a lot of restore on this bike, but I want to see if we can get it to run. So here's the spark plug now with the coil system. If someone really wants me to show them how I did this, I'll draw it out for you and send it to you. So just get a hold of me on Facebook. Because I know. It's a rat's nest. It's a hillbilly way of me doing it. But I just want to see if this thing runs. This is actually off a lawnmower. Off the bottom of a lawnmower that holds the belt on. Oh, a Honda lawnmower. I couldn't find a good place to mount it, so I use that. Anything I can find, I'll use, guys. If it's usable, use it. So I still got this cover off because I'm going to use my electric start. Don't ever use it, guys. You'll break your hand. Points are set. That's my ignition key. So let's see if we got spark. Oh yeah, look at that. We got spark. Let's put some gas to it. Let's see if it starts, guys. That is what I want to do. All right, I think we're about ready to start this thing up. I hope. Famous last words. Turn the fuel on. Okay. Now, let's see if we can get this thing running, guys. 150cc bored out piston, or bored out jug with a big piston. So, let's see. My Pepsi. Yeah, because you know, if this does start, there's oil going to come out. I'll put a pan there. Okay. Choke on. Woohoo! Well, guys, that sounds great. That thing sounded good. Now here comes the oil. I can't believe how well that sounded, too. That sounded pretty good. With the exhaust, I really didn't clean out. It was kind of maybe Jerry's friends would go flying out of there. But, well, maybe I want to give this thing a quick ride. You know me. That's awesome. Ha! Yeah! And the points are good, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the cover back on for that. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah! All right, guys. Well, we're going to start her up. That's all as far as I'm getting. I tried it, and the transmission doesn't want to move. So probably what happened was the water being in the motor got on that barrel for when you shift, it turns. It's probably got light rust on it, so it moves, but it don't want to go into gear. So it's going to be a whole different video. So I'm going to do that whole different video on this for the transmission, more than likely. So it won't be ready for Portland. It won't be ready for mid-Ohio. Speaking of which, I have so much work to do. I got so much stuff to get ready. So, especially Portland, that's coming up very soon. And guess what? That's because Terrell's going to be there. Doc's going to be there. The whole gang's going to be there. Slippers, Junior, all of them are going to be there at Portland, Indiana. And so is Camera Girl and I. We're all going to be hanging out. We're going to have fun. But man, I have so much to do. I've got so much stuff to get ready. I haven't even started. I wanted to get this at least started for you. So anyhow, disappointing. I wanted to ride it. So anyhow, guys, that's it for this one right now. I'm not sure when I can get back into it, but we'll get back into it with the transmission later. So anyway, hey, please subscribe and like. you'll get all the notifications when I put up a video, when I work on this stuff that's a real pain in the butt. Really, 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 this needs a major registration. Yeah, registration, all right. Restored. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great rest of your Sunday. We'll see you next Sunday.